Well, Lillian, thank you so much for helping with my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Oh, okay. So I'm a senior financial analyst working for HP. Um, I've been with HP for a little over 10 years. Yeah.
And what are some of your hobbies and other interests?
Oh, I enjoy cooking, travel, and also gardening. I love to, trying to get some oriental vegetables, grow vegetable in the backyard, and yeah. So those
What
are mainly.
what vegetable has you have the most success with?
I think for mainly it's like a long yard bean. I don't know if you heard about it. It's like a yard long bean, and then Chinese type of cucumbers, um, some kind of Chinese leafy vegetables. Yeah, those are the main thing I grow. I also love to grow fruits as well, but not very successful.
I know I have trouble with my figs. The birds always seem to come and eat them.
Oh, yeah. I have Asian pear, kumquat, loquat, pear, and fuyu. Pear and fuyu actually I just grew last year. I'm not sure if they survived the cold this time, so keep my finger crossed. Hopefully they are still alive.
I know it's
Yeah,
been a very unseasonably cold,
I
snow
know.
and
I
ice,
know.
and
Yeah.
who would have thought? I went to to New Hampshire for a year, and
Mhm.
came back because of the snow. So I guess,
Mhm. Yeah.
uh, but 1 week sure beats 4 or 5 months. I tell you that.
Yeah. Mhm.
So you said you also like to travel. What's the most adventurous place you've been to?
We went to Italy the year before. Actually, me and my husband, we really enjoyed. And we were planning to go last March, and due to the COVID, so we didn't get a chance to go. And it's been quarantined at home almost a year, so we're really looking forward to travel abroad again. But with the COVID situation, I don't know when we'll have the opportunity. Hopefully later this year or early next year. Just can't wait to get out the door, get out of the country, and then yeah, I think given COVID situation, it feels like we can put off the thing we wanted to do. We need to take the opportunity, just do it again, or do it as soon as we could, because what if there's another pandemic, right? So, yeah, hopefully.
It's fascinating you're planning to be in Italy last March because Stephen was supposed to be at a sleep conference
Uh-huh.
for a school in Northern Italy last March as well, and we were thinking
Uh-huh.
about going to join him. So
Uh-huh.
then that turned out to be the place in Europe where it seemed to have gotten hit the hardest with the COVID.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
I love Italy. So definite we need, because we only spent there for about 10 days. So we're talking about we need definitely go back to visit different city in Italy, and then hopefully other part of the Europe.
Which part of Italy do you like?
We stay in Rome, we stay in Florence for a few days, and also Venice. So three cities. I like all of them. Yeah, I like all of them.
Yeah, you'll have to give us some tips. I think we'd like to go and explore
Yeah,
as
definitely,
well.
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
The place I want to go to is Morocco. That
Oh,
seems like
Morocco. Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
um, interesting food and interesting
Mhm.
architecture and so rich in history and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, me and my husband were talking about next time we visit, we probably need to just spend a month or two instead of just rush, because usually vacation is always like 7 days or 2 weeks max. For the European country, probably we need to spend a little bit more time. So
Yeah, it's been 2 or 3 days to get over the jet lag.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
then go see one thing, relax, meet some people.
I know. Yeah.
Well, so did you know that NASA is planning to send people back to the moon in 2024?
Yes, I heard about it. Yeah.
How did you hear about it?
I think I heard it from you. I know, yeah, Sonia is sending me some information, and also I know recently there's a Houston Chronicle has an article features about you, so I know you've been dedicated to interview one person a day all the way through the launch day, right? So I'm so
Well,
glad I'll be part of it.
I definitely through the end of 2024, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure I'm quite ready to make a commitment to launch date because that could be 2026 or 2027. That could be a lot more, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think. But what do you think about it? I mean, us going back to
Uh,
the moon.
I feel like excited, but in the same time, also kind of nervous about it. And I was talking to my husband last night, and I say, "Hey, Nathan's going to interview me, going to the moon. Like, do you think we have the health condition that we can go there?" And then he said, "No, you don't have to be like an astronaut type of a physical condition in order to." I'm like, "Well, visit, you landed there, then what are you going to do there, right?" So that's part of the thing, and also how many people is going to be there, and what are we going to do there, and all of that. So that's kind of thing. I'd like to know a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. But I guess before talking about what they plan to do, what would make it worthwhile in your point, in your view, us going back? What would you want them to do?
Mm, yeah, I wanted them if they can set up some sort of livable condition. So if we have disaster or something, if just like Houston, right? If there are just like they can say, oh, there's a major disaster hitting, let's just send people to the moon as a shelter. That would be nice, right? And then some kind of to avoid some kind of regional disaster, and then also, I just don't know what kind of other things they are planning to do there. But I'm excited, but also nervous. I don't think I will be the first part of people willing to go there. I'm worried about it, the safety issues, all of that.
But would it surprise you to know that less than 1,000 people have ever been in space?
Nope, I'm not surprised at all, though.
So the idea of a moon being like a place where we could go in disaster, I mean, obviously the transportation would be a huge challenge
Mhm, mhm.
since, I mean, it might be good for the 10 or so people that go, but what about the billions more here on Earth?
Yeah, but I think eventually, not the first phase, right? So eventually, that it's just like you're going. I don't know how many years later, just like going to a different country. You're flying to the moon, just like you're flying to a different country. International space. But I don't know how many years it's going to take to get to that stage. But that's just a kind of like ideal situation, right? Um, yeah.
Uh, but you say you don't know how many years it's going to take. Do you think it's something that you and I will see, or you think it's
Uh,
further than that?
You mean send a massive population to the? I hope so. I'm not certain though. But also, I believe technology evolved very fast. So a lot of things that 20 years ago you can think of it happening right now, right? So definite. I think I have a hope.
Yeah, technology is interesting, right? It kind of comes in spurts and then it just sticks around in its form for a while. And then
Yeah.
maybe you see another spurt, you know.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, if you think about like our computers that we have today, there's probably less differences between the one we have today and the one we had 5 years ago
Mhm.
than the
Mhm.
one that we had in 2000, the one we had in 1995. That was
Yeah.
probably a
Yeah.
much bigger uh, difference.
Yeah. We talk about speed, right? The processor speed and all of that significantly improved. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, some of the things they plan to do on the moon is actually find out about the Earth. Um, you know, meteors are constantly hitting the Earth, but
Mhm.
they burn up in the atmosphere or they land in the ocean, or they do hit ground, but then they get weathered and covered over. But
Mhm.
since the moon doesn't have an atmosphere and doesn't have weather, and it's been
Mhm.
traveling in the same space as us, those
Mhm.
same meteors are kind of like out there and easier to kind of quantify and characterize and
Mhm.
um, kind of get a better idea on what kind of risk we've been facing over the long term.
Mhm.
And I was wondering if that seemed like a worthwhile enterprise to you.
Yeah, I think it could be as long as but you're talking about when I talking about livable situation is just not just the visiting and you have to live there, right? And then isn't the moon ready have all the resources, natural resources for human to be there for a period of time. Um, you know, I think that's part of the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, going to the moon, it'd be like going to the most desolate desert. You, you really have to bring um, everything that you need with you and figure out how to recycle it and
Yeah.
that type of thing. That's but we did discover that there's water ice on the moon.
Mhm.
Um, the moon has a 1 degree tilt with respect to the sun. It has like these
Mhm.
huge craters, and some of them near the poles have these areas that are constantly in shadow.
Mhm.
And since it has no atmosphere, and there's nothing to heat it up, in those shadows, it's very, very cold. So over billions of years, we think water molecules from like comets and what asteroids have made it in there and have accumulated this this water, which we could probably use.
Yeah. So I think you are very excited that if there's a chance, if there's one person can allow, if you were the one selected to be on the shadow to get there, you'll be very excited to go. I'm not sure I will be the one. I'm still get a little bit nervous about it.
But that's an interesting question. If it were safe and affordable, would you take a trip to space? Like, would you go in orbit or go visit the International Space Station or
I will, but I'm not adventurous enough that being the first part of yeah, I probably will wait and see if it works out good or whatever. Yeah.
how many people would need to go before you felt safe?
Mm, it's not just how many people, I think it for a period of time as well. So maybe I don't know. I don't know. I think the frequency and also the duration matters. So maybe after a year or something like that. Yeah. I just want
Okay.
the technology being matured and safe. That's the thing I'm concerned.
That's definitely a consideration. Um, so there's this contest that's in the works of having a worldwide reality TV show
Mhm.
that would select a person to go to the International Space Station for 10 days called
Mhm.
Space Hero.
Mhm.
And I was wondering if you had heard of this project.
Nope. No, I haven't.
How would you see yourself participating in something like that?
Uh, I mind participating, but if I'm winning, I probably give the opportunity to somebody else.
Yeah, yeah. That's usually a different point of view than most contestants.
Uh-huh. I know most contestants they want to go, right?
Yeah.
And I might, yeah, I don't know. I just at this point because maybe I just don't have enough information. um, to assess. And yeah, seeing some launches failed, or I just get a little bit nervous about it.
Um, so, about 500 years ago, Christopher Columbus sailed from the Europe to North America,
Mhm.
and that really started the kind of migration of lots of people from Europe to North America. That kind of led to the developments that we now have here
Mhm.
in North America. If we were to go and project forward 500 years, where do you think humanity would be? And specifically, I mean, do you think we're still on the Earth making little trips to places, or you think we have thousands of people living on the moon and on Mars and the moons of Jupiter and the moons of Saturn, and like how far do you think we would have gotten?
I think that's very possible if you're talking about 500 years. That's very possible that it go to the outer space, moons, Mars, But I think it all depends on if those spaces have livable conditions as well, right? I think now exploring, trying to figure out, but I still believe it's very possible. Everything's possible in this world. There's nothing's impossible. It's just like you, as long as you give time, right? I think humans is very creative. If you want, just look at Elon Musk, right? I think he is one example that if he wants to do something, as long as you're dedicated, I feel like you have humans like that eventually will be able to do it. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I guess so. Where do Elon Musk come from, and how do we get more of them?
Oh no, I don't know him much, but I heard it's kind of. I think his mom plays a big role as a parent when he grew up, and mom just encourage him to explore, support him. Even maybe some of the idea at a time was considered very silly. It's like why you have this kind of silly idea, but you know what? It's just being creative, and they have a very supportive parents and also friends, or you know I think that's a huge help. So you have to have a creative idea first, and then you have the environment, you have the support system around you, right? And if the parents constantly say, oh, this is, you can't do that, don't waste time to do it, then I don't think Elon's just like Elon today, right? So I think he's lucky from that perspective. He get a chance and also has the support, everything. I think a lot of things. You also have the money in order to do it, right? There's a lot of resources, human resource, and also there's a money resource and all of that to give you the opportunity to experiment and then find, at the end of the day, you can achieve your dream. Yeah.
Um, are there any changes that you think we should do in our society to kind of help people become better problem solvers and actually contribute like this? I mean, like what are some things that we can do to kind of have a bigger have enable people to have a bigger effect on the future?
I think at the end of the day, it's the you just like what I said, learn from Elon's, you know, the why Elon being very successful, why he's very creative, right? Innovative. It's part of the environment you live in as a parent, in the school system, all of that. The society needs to have just give kids opportunity, people opportunity, the space to uh, realize their dream instead of. I think as a parent, sometime when I raised my daughter, yeah, I look back and a lot of things I would say, oh, I don't think you can get this done. This is not doable or something, right? We judge, we give guidance based on our own experience, but I think a lot of time creative idea got killed at that stage because we foresee as a parent, most of parents, I would say, if they believe this is not the right path, they will just point it out. This is, you know, most likely is going to fail, instead of let the kids to experiment and trying to figure out itself. I think that's part of just from my personal experience. Um, I think that's the huge roadblock for the kid, because we as a parent, we don't want our kids to fail. But in the same time, by doing that, I think trying to prevent them fail in the future, we also create a roadblock um, for them to be creative, right? So I think we probably need to do better, and not just as a parent, as a friends, community, right? I think we need to support those creative ideas, innovative ideas.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. We got to be careful that the limitations that we've come to accept, we don't impose on the
Yeah.
people around us and our children. And
Mhm.
well, I really appreciate the time. Did you have any questions for me?
Um, so I just have one question. So, uh, if you are the one got selected to uh, go to the moon, would you say yes, or would you even wait a little bit?
Um, well, that's interesting point. Uh, I I think I would like to see a lot of people go first. I don't necessarily want to be the the first one. I like to
Mhm.
see lots of people go, and
Mhm.
maybe I like to be the thousandth person.
I'll be the thousand. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I know you have a lot of passion around this area, and you have done a lot of research. That's why I just wanted to see if you feel comfortable if you're chosen.
Not yet. I need to see, like you said, maybe more than a year, maybe 5 years or so, and then yeah, maybe several thousand people. Then I feel more comfortable, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
So that kind of validate. I think I feel like I'm relatively very conservative. So I think maybe, yeah, I think probably overall people's safety is still a concern, right?
yeah, I want to live on the moon. I don't want to die on the moon.
Of course, I think that's everybody's dream, right? Yeah, yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time and thank you so much. If you know anybody else that would be willing to have a conversation, I got like 1,400 more days to go.
Okay, I'll definitely let you know if there's any candidates interested in that. And thank you so much for spending time and then answer some of my questions.
Sure. And if you have any more, feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk about it.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye bye.